Thanks.
ها ايش؟
في شخصية في نص السنة يعني حتى يروح.
في ايش؟
في شخصية في نص السنة حتى يروح يعني يقول.
اي شخص موجود هنا. ايش؟ تعال انا ما ادري ايش تقول. في شخص فين؟ رجل ام امرأة؟
في امرأة تطلع درجة نص السنة حتى تروح حتى ما تفتح الباب أو شيء.
انا لا افتح لو انت متأكد خلاص. يعني اصلا يعني اي صار الان انت افتح حاليا بدل ان ننتظر حتى واحدة تجي. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. That's a problem with the lights outside. That's not they didn't turn it off. There it goes. Or maybe they did. Now they just maybe turn it back on. There's a switches over there by the kitchen. They just thought it was something else. Who knows? All right. So we're on Bab 123. قال الإمام البخاري رحمه الله تعالى باب العفو والصفح عن الناس. Alright, so the chapter on al-af. Al-afu, it means what? Forgiveness, pardoning. Wasafh, it means what?
That's wrong.
What?
No, it's shake hands.
No, that's musafaha. Wasafh is safha al-jameel.
Oh.
It means shake their hands in a way that's beautiful.
No, real musafah.
No, the musafaha, that's safaha, yusafihu. Yusafihu, musafahatan.
Isn't there a hadith like, إني لا أصافح النساء?
Yeah, musafaha. But that's not safh. A safh is what? Save? Nothing? A safh, you say like safaha is like ablagh min al-af. Alright, it's ablagh. Why? Because the asl of a safaha huwa i'rad. But what are you doing i'rad? What are you completely refraining from and staying away from? You're staying away from getting like taking back any of, like if somebody does something wrong to you, you don't try to get back at the person in any way. You just like basically just forgive the person and let it go and keep it moving, But you're not like out to seek revenge and try to like in any manner, whether it's physically, whether it's verbally, whether it's mentally, emotionally. You don't try to get any type of revenge from the person. Tell them they gotta get up out of here, because they're being too loud out here. That's like, we gotta lock the doors. Just lock the doors. Huh?
Said Muhammad Samal's calling. I'm not gonna answer. He has all day to call me.
Well, kids will be kids, man. They'll have that whole entire parking lot to run around and do whatever they want, but they're gonna have to come over here and make noise next to the class. They have to, because the shaitan is gonna just not let them not do that.
You're out there.
Huh?
Bro, they're right. Oh, never mind.
Who?
That's Hussein and Asad.
Where is that?
I can see them through. He's right.
Yeah, they're sitting in here.
I thought it was a little
I'm not worried about Hassan and Hussein. Alright, so basically, like I said, al-safh is ablagh. That means that you're not trying to, wala qalil wala kathir. You're not trying to take back anything. You just let it go. You just let it go. So it's ablagh, and it's also, as'ab, and much harder. Because, you're not even trying to, you just let it go. And this is, of course, this chapter is dealing obviously with the people that that have the qudra, that have the ability to take revenge. So it's not about like a person who's weak, who's in a position where he has no choice. He has to just remain quiet because he fears for his life. This is al-ajiz, and this is not a safh, and this is not an afu. You don't say, oh, an afu anhu. No, you're not doing no afu anhu. You're not forgiving him. Because you're afraid if you say something, he's going to take your life or do something to you to cause harm to you. Or maybe, whatever. It might even be something with your wealth. Like maybe he's a manager and you're afraid to say something and he speaks to you in a bad way. So in this case, no, this is not al-afu. Al-afu is when you have the ability to what? To exact revenge on that person, but you choose forgiveness. You choose, so no. I mean, this is what this is for. This is the person that gets the reward, not the weak person who's ajiz. Because he has no choice but to be patient. But this person has a choice, but he chooses to be forgiven. And this is a statement of Ibrahim al-Nakha'i, rahimahullah. And when he said, Kanu yakrahun. And when he says Kanu yakrahun, who is he talking about?
Salih.
No, the Salaf, in general. Kanu yakrahun an yustadallu. Kanu yakrahun an yustadallu. What does that mean?
They would hate to make others feel belittled.
No, they would hate that people to belittle them. And yustadallu.
I thought you said yestadallu.
No, yustadallu. Alright, that they used to hate being disrespected, dishonored, and treated in a way like that. فَإِذَا قَدِرُوا what? فَإِذَا قَدِرُوا عَفَوْا. But if they had the ability to get revenge on the person that disrespected them or dishonored them, what did he do? He forgave him and just kept it moving. He didn't go out and seek revenge even though he was capable of doing it. And that's the path of the Salaf. Alright, so now let's deal with this hadith. Hadith number 243. حدثنا عبد الله بن عبد الوهاب قال حدثنا خالد بن الحارث قال حدثنا شعبة عن هشام بن زيد عن أنس رضي الله عنه أن يهودية أتت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بشاة مسمومة فأكل منها فجيء بها فقيل ألا نقتلها قال لا قال فما زلت أعرفها في لهوات رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. This hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim. Alright, so this hadith is reported on the authority of Anas radiallahu anhu. And when she said a Yahudiya, so a female Jew, she came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam with a shah, with a sheep, and it was cooked, and it had poison in it, masmuma. She had put poison in it. Why did she put the poison in it? No, she said in a different narration, she went to them and said what? She said, if you're a prophet, you would know that I put poison in it. And if you're not a prophet and you're lying, then we can, like we could relax from you, like we can get rid of you. But of course, Jibril came and told him that the meat was poison, and he confronted her about it. So she came with this poison meat. فَأَكَلَ مِنْهَا. And the Prophet ﷺ ate from it. And the Sahaba ate from it. One of the Sahaba ended up dying from it. Who was that? Bishr ibn al-Barra. Bishr ibn al-Barra. He's the one that ate from it. He died. He died later on. And then the Prophet ﷺ also eventually died. The cause of his death was also from this meat when he died. Alright. So فَأَكَلَ مِنْهَا فَجِيءَ بِهَا. So he ate from it, and then they brought her to him. فَقِيلَ أَلَا نَقْتُلَهَا. So they said to the Prophet ﷺ, shall we not kill her? قَالَ لَا. He said no. قَالَ فَمَا زِلْتُ أَعْرِفُهَا. And he said, I still knew it. I could still see the signs of the poison. فِي لَهَوَاتِ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم. Lahawat, it comes from the word laha. Laha, no, not laha, but laha. Alright, lahatun is what? If you open up your mouth, there's like this little piece of meat, right? Next to the tonsils. You got the tonsils and you got this little piece of meat that hangs from the roof of the back of your mouth. That's lahatun. So he's talking about that we knew the athar of the poison because of the athar, because of the taghayyur, because some of the ulama said that it started to turn black. The Prophet ﷺ, like it started to change, the color of it started to change. Because obviously it's red, right? But because of the sickness and the poison overtaking him, that they noticed they could still see the effects of the poison from the changing of his of that part of, I don't know what it's called in the English language. It's got some crazy Latin word. But it's that piece of meat that hangs from the back of the mouth. All you gotta do, huh?
Uvula?
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, who's gonna remember that?
Yeah.
And the hatun is a lot easier to remember. All right, so muttafaqun alayh. So, all right, and of course, like I said, this is there's an ikhtilaf about this issue because, of course, at that time, when they said, should we not kill her, the Prophet ﷺ said no. The ulama said that he killed her. You know, but I don't know as far as those narrations if they're authentic or not, and I didn't have time to check them. But if we let's just say, for example, that those narrations are authentic. All right, that the Prophet ﷺ did eventually take her and kill her. How do we combine between him killing her or him ordering her to be killed and this hadith where he said, no, don't kill her? Come on, the answer's kind of already given to you guys. If you really paid attention, the answer was kind of just, it was like slipped in there, but you have to, you know, use your akal a little bit. I guess we're not doing that tonight, are we? So no akal tonight. Bishr ibn al-Barra, who is he?
Sahabi.
Okay, and what's his connection to this hadith?
He was killed.
He died from the poison. But did he die in that sitting? No, he died later on. He got sick and then he died. And then that's what the ulama say is when he died, that's when the Prophet ﷺ commanded that she be killed. Because, she took, she caused the death of him. She killed him. That was murder. She put poison in it, and it ended up killing one of the Sahaba. So he says because of that, that's the reason why later on he commanded her to be killed. And Allah knows best. And that's the opinion of Imam Nawawi and others from amongst the ulama. Allah yarhamahum. All right, from before. So, now, as far as the statement of that poison being the cause of the Prophet ﷺ's death, what's the dillo for that?
Can you repeat it?
This poison being the cause for the death of the Prophet ﷺ. So that's why the ulama say that the Prophet ﷺ died shaheed. And it's the Yahudi, because this is what the Yahudi do, they kill the prophets, right? So what's the dilil that this is the cause? Alright, it's a hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha. And I'll read the hadith to you. Said, رضي الله عنها قالت كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول في المرض الذي مات فيه يا عائشة ما أزال أجد ألم الطعام الذي أكلت بخيبر. Alright, so he said, oh Aisha, and she said first, she said that the Prophet ﷺ was saying in the sickness that he died from, in his final sickness. He said, yeah, Aisha, oh Aisha, I still find the pain of the food that we ate in Khaybar. And what is the food that they ate at Khaybar?
Meat.
This meat. This was at Khaybar. This was during that time. So she came and she brought the poisoned meat to him. And he said, to this day, I still find this. And then the rest of the narration, you have to find the rest of the narration online. حتى انقطع بي أبهري. And this is what causes death. So he said, and this poison is what caused this. And yeah, so that's it. So and that hadith is authentic. So yeah, the strongest opinion is that the poison was the cause of the death of the Prophet ﷺ. So she also, again, the Jews always kill the prophets. All right. So 244 after that. But what's the shahid from this hadith?
In the beginning when he said no.
Yeah, all right. Because here, again, we talked about the af and the safh, that it has to be with what? The qudra. Now, there's no doubt that if the Prophet ﷺ said, yes, kill her, she's gone. She's dead. So the qudra, the ability to take her out was there. But he said no. Because at that time, nobody had died. Nobody, but of course, after the Sahabi, who's the Sahabi that died? Bishr ibn Man. Huh?
Wakil.
No. You're just making names up. We didn't take anybody here named Wakil.
No, Bishr ibn al-Barra.
Al-Barra. All right. So now, hadith number 244. حدثنا محمد بن سلام قال حدثنا أبو معاوية قال حدثنا هشام عن وهب بن كيسان قال سمعت عبد الله بن الزبير رضي الله عنه يقول على المنبر خذ العفو وأمر بالعرف وأعرض عن الجاهلين قال والله ما أمر بها أن تؤخذ إلا من أخلاق الناس والله لآخذنها منهم ما صحبتهم. All right, and this narration is in Sahih Bukhari without that last part. والله لآخذنها منهم ما صحبتهم. Without that part, the rest of the narration is in Bukhari. All right, so here we have Abdullah ibn Zubayr radiallahu anhu. He said on the minbar, خذ العفو وأمر بالعرف وأعرض عن الجاهلين. So three things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded. All right, what are they? خذ العفو, right?
Take that which is good.
Yeah, all right. Well, the forgiveness and pardoning of the people. All right, to take the path of pardoning, not to be vengeful, and but you have to be patient with the people, and you have to pardon them for their shortcomings, because people lack knowledge, they lack proper upbringing, they lack edification, they lack sophistication. So this is just the reality of the majority of the people. So you have to be patient when you're dealing with them, because not everybody is going to be like this cookie cutter type of person that is just like you can just deal with. No, and the majority of the people are going to be people that get on your nerves. As you're giving dawah, you're going to be trying to explain things that are very easy, but you're going to find a lot of people don't understand what you're saying. They're like, "Well, I don't understand. And it gets on your nerves. And you try to explain it again. You don't understand. This is just the reality of the people. So in this case, you have to take the path of al-af. You have to pardon the people. You can't just keep busting them in the head all the time, because, again, just like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said what? وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَضًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَانْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ فَاعْفُ عَنْهُمْ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُتَوَكِّلِينَ. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَضًّا. Faddan, that means what?
Harsh.
Yeah, like real harsh and tough, like a Bedouin with the camels, If you're like faddan ghalid al-qalb, and real hard-hearted with the people. So if this was your behavior with the people, and this is the way that you treated them, and this is the way that you acted towards them, you had no patience with them, you had no softness with them, you had no concern with them, then what? What did he say? لَأَنْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ. Wow.
Went away from you.
They would have dispersed from you. They would have left you. Nobody would have stayed amongst you. It's because it was the manners, the akhlaq, the character of the Prophet ﷺ that attracted the people to him. And the way that he dealt with people, how forgiving he was, how caring he was, how generous he was, and how, So, لَنْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ. And then he said what? فَاعْفُوا عَنْهُمْ. فَاعْفُوا عَنْهُمْ. What?
So forgive them.
Forgive them, pardon them. Pardon them for their shortcomings. They're not going to, they're going to make mistakes. And they're going to do things that, you might not agree with, but you have to pardon them. You have to be patient with them. وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ. And what?
And consult them on the
And
matter.
consult them in the affairs. فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ.
So when you make the, how do you say,
If you make once you decide, once you
decide, yeah.
once you've fully decided on something and you're determined that this is the right decision, فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. Put your trust in Allah. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُتَوَكِّلِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves those who put trust in their trust. Alright. So he said, so that's the af. وَأْمُرْ بِالْعُرْفِ.
Order on that which is cool, which is good.
Command the people to do that which is good, which is obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So two things, be patient and pardon the people. Command the people to be good, to do good, to do obedience, to do righteousness. And then the third thing is what? وَأَعْرَضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ. And what?
Leave, and stay away from the...
Yeah, don't argue with them. Don't fight with them. Don't go back and forth with them. Once the person acts like this, and you turn away from them. You don't deal with them. You don't go back and forth with them, because then it's gonna take away from you. It's gonna make you look bad. Because the ignorant people, what they do is they want to argue, they want to fight, and they want to waste your time, and they want to bring you down to their level. So you stay away from them. And you turn away from them. And you focus on the people that want good. And those are the people that you teach. Those are the people you focus on. And then you're patient with them. But if it's a person who's just jahil, just acting ignorant, just acting stupid, you turn away from them, you stay away from them. You don't go back and forth with them. So qala wallahi. So this is now who's speaking?
Wahab ibn Kaysan.
Who?
Wahab.
Why would Wahab ibn Kaysan speak?
Isn't he the Rawi?
No, he said, and I heard Abdullah ibn Zubayr say this on the minbar. So he said, قال والله ما أمر بها أن تؤخذ إلا من أخلاق الناس. And what is he talking about here? والله ما أمر بها أن تؤخذ إلا من أخلاق الناس. What is he talking about?
Taken from the
well, what is he talking about? What is being taken? What?
Like to show forgiveness from the evil of the people.
Yeah, he's talking about the afu. He said that the afu that is not been commanded for the person to take this approach, except because of the bad character of the people. You know, because it's just a reality. Like I said, the majority of the people that you're going to have to deal with in dawah, is just in your everyday lives. They got bad character, especially as we get further and further and along in time, closer and closer to the Dajjal. And it's just like what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in the Quran? He said, when he said, أَلَمْ يَعْنِ لِلَّذِينَ آمِنُوا أَن تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَمَا نَزَلَ مِنَ الْحَقِّ أَلَمْ يَعْنِ لِلَّذِينَ آمِنُوا أَن تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَمَا نَزَلَ مِنَ الْحَقِّ وَلَا يَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ مِنْ قَبْلُ فَطَالَ عَلَيْهِمُ الْأَمَدُ فَقَصَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ وَكَثِيرٌ مِّنْهُمْ فَاسِقُونَ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أَلَمْ يَعْنِ. What does that mean?
Does not come to mind.
No, the time has not arrived. The time has not come. Because an al-awan, you say in the Arabic language called an al-awan, it means that the time has arrived. Alright, so أَلَمْ يَعْنِ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَن تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. What is that? Is the time not come for the people that believe and the people that have iman, the people that have belief in Allah, the last days, and belief in His Messenger, and to what? And تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. That their hearts should become what?
Fearful.
Yeah, fearful, with the remembrance of Allah. Where they're not just reading the Quran, just to read it, but they're reading it and it's bringing fear, and that fear is causing them to act, and that fear is causing them to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the manner that He commanded them to obey Him and worship Him. He said, and تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَمَا نَزَلَ مِنَ الْحَقِّ, and what came down from the truth, the Quran and the Sunnah. Then after that he said what? وَمَا نَزَلَ مِنَ الْحَقِّ وَلَا يَكُونُوا, and they should not be كَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ مِنْ قَبْلِ, like the people that were given the book from before. Well, what happened to them? فَطَالَ عَلَيْهِمُ الْأَمَدُ. What does that mean?
So the time became long.
Yeah, but the time between them and their prophet, it was a long time. So once they got further and further away from their prophet, they started turning more and more away from the book. And they started disobeying Allah. They started going to their opinions and what was on their mind more and more. And then what was like this was the cause. And what was the effect? فَقَصَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ وَكَثِيرٌ مِّنْهُمْ فَاسِقُونَ. Alright, so because of them turning away from the dhikr, and them turning away from what the Prophet ﷺ came down with, what happened to them? Their hearts became hardened. And once their hearts became hardened, what? They don't care anymore. They don't care about obedience to Allah. It takes the softness of the heart to obey Allah. But a hard heart doesn't care about obedience. Alright, so he said, فَقَصَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ وَكَثِيرٌ مِّنْهُمْ فَاسِقُونَ. And a lot of them, you find them fasiqun. Fasiqun, what? Say, what is it? Fasiq. No, منحرف الذي ينحرف عن السبيل. الفاسق in the Arabic language, فسق means خرج. ففسق عن أمر ربه خرج عن أمر ربه, like he left out from the commands of Allah. So once you leave out of the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're considered what? Fasiq. Huh? Fasiq. Yeah. Alright, so كثير منهم فاسقون, like they've left out And they've gone out of the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of their hard hearts. Alright, what's up?
No, just Christian.
Oh, I thought you were hitting him on the knee. He's playing those elementary games again, I thought. Alright, so he said, so that's what he's talking about. He said, قَالَ وَاللَّهِ مَا أَمَرَ بِهَا أَن تُؤْخَذَ إِلَّا مِنْ أَخْلَاقِ النَّاسِ. That the afu was not, like, this forgiveness and this parting was not, we weren't commanded for this except because of the what? The poor character of the people. So we have to be patient with them. And that's what he's saying. And then he said, after that, which like I said, this is not from the actual narration, but, well, just to understand it, he said, وَاللَّهِ لَآخُذَنَّهَا مِنْهُمْ مَا صَحِبْتُهُمْ. So what is he swearing by Allah about?
I will take it from them.
Take what from them?
The afu.
Yeah, he said, I'm going to continue to pardon the people. What does the translation say? You lost.
No, I don't see it.
Maybe they probably deleted it.
Where is it at?
But yeah, so he said, I'll continue to pardon the people.
I found it. This is,
What did he say?
my Allah will follow it as long as I am with them.
Yeah, as long as I continue to accompany the people, ma sahibtuhum, as long as I accompany the people and they have these bad manners and this bad character, that I'll continue to what? I'll continue to pardon them. I'm going to continue to follow the commands of Allah in this regard. So yeah. So I mean, even though that last part, like I said, is not from the original narration, but it's still, alhamdulillah, still beautiful. Alright, so 245. Alright, this is the last hadith we'll read. We're not doing any other book tonight because I've been busy. So for the people online, I had an infection in my foot. And I still have an infection in my foot. It's like right there, right? It's like right there in the middle. So it's like right where all those nerves are. And it's been bad. And then at the same time, then Sajid sent the books from Jacksonville. He sent 5 boxes of books, and none of these books came on the same time. So 2 boxes came yesterday, 2 boxes came today. 1 box I guess is gonna come tomorrow. It's supposed to come tomorrow. It was in San Francisco last night, but it didn't make it to Fresno because this, I guess, is the big box. And none of those boxes include Tafsir al-Tabari. I am so heartbroken, Sajid, if you hear this. Well, he already heard this because I already let him know. I'm like, out of all the books, man, I kept saying Tafsir al-Tabari, and the last book that you sent is Tafsir al-Tabari. So, inshallah, I'll send that tomorrow or after tomorrow. Oh, yeah. So I had to go get new bookshelves, new everything. All my bookshelves are full, everything. So I had to get another 5-level bookcase just to put these books on. So, khalas, man. No more books, man. I don't want any more books for at least another 3 years. Except for Fath al-Bari. What's funny? You reading comments? Except for what book?
Oh.
Except for Fath al-Bari. That's the only book that I want within the next 3 years. Yes. Just Fath al-Bari. That's it. Alright, but I don't need it now. I'm too busy with other stuff. So. Alright, but that was the reason why. So Allah musta'an. But anyways, let's continue. 245. حدثنا محمد بن السلام. Did I read it? No, I didn't read this. All right, that was another one. حدثنا محمد بن سلام قال أخبرنا محمد بن فضيل بن غزوان عن ليث here is ضعيف. Layth is Ibn Abi Sulaym. He's ضعيف مختلط. مختلط means what? Huh?
يختلط في كلامه.
Yeah, no, and he was just mukhtalat. He didn't not for akhir umr. He was just mukhtalat. Like he would always mix and jumble up narrations. Like he wasn't thabit and babat with his narration. So yeah. Oh, that's the other books that came today, boy. The Sharh of Alfiyat al-Suyuti, the Sheikh Muhammad ibn Ali ibn Adam al-Ethiopi, rahimahullah, that came today. Tadrib Rawi, Tankil, what is it? Sunnah al-Khalal, Sunnah ibn Abi Asim. The first volume of Ibana, because now I got to find out if the second volume is in this big box. I got like the second volume of Fath al-Qadir today. The second volume of the Tafsir al-Shawkani. The other 4 volumes are in another box somewhere. You know, out of all the tafsir of Sheikh al-Uthaymeen, I got sort of the Yasin. And that's it, you know. So it's just like, Random, but 10 kill came, man. A 10 kill came. So, alhamdulillah. But, yeah. That's why I don't want to be here tonight. I want to be here sitting at home looking at my books. We've been reunited. All right, so Layth is what? Watch out, he's going to play these.
No, I just want to.
No. All right, so Layth is da'if, but this hadith is sahih because it has shawahid. All right, so, and Tawus man. You should know this because we took this in Jacksonville. We talked about Tawus in Jacksonville when we were going over Sahih Muslim, the Muqaddimah of Sahih Muslim. Yeah, you better start thinking. Tawus ibn Man. I'm going to disown you right now. Tawus ibn Kaysan al-Yamani. He's not Yemeni though, but he grew up in Yemen. He lived in Yemen for a large portion of his life, so they called him al-Yamani, but his asl is from the Furs. He's Persian, but he grew up in Yemen, so they call him al-Yamani, but he's not. His asl is not Yemeni. He stayed there, he lived there, he got married there, he died there. I believe he died there. You have to check his tarjuma, but yeah, he's an imam. So they call him Yemeni, but he's also from the Furs. All right, Tawus ibn Kaysan. All right, عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم علموا ويسروا ولا. Lock the doors. Lock the doors. Go lock that door back there. I don't know if that's him again or that's somebody else. I think that might be somebody else. You see anybody out there?
No.
For the people that are watching online, they're going out to check because somebody's out in the street yelling and cursing, and we have another incident.
I don't know how to lock that door. I twisted both ways, it still opens.
No, it's going to open from the inside, but it won't open from the outside. Where is this at? Where's this dude at?
I don't know, I don't see
I think it's just out at the street over here.
Somebody walking down the sidewalk.
Yeah, because there was a guy that was walking down right before we prayed. Like, it looked like something from the zombie apocalypse, man. What is that?
What is that?
What? Yunadini. Oh my God, man, I can't keep walking, man. What is he knocking on the door for?
We're back YouTube.
What do you want? Some water. Like, God, man, you gotta make all that noise. Then all you gotta do is walk up and say, hey, excuse me, can I get some water? what is all that noise? I heard him like cursing and yelling when y'all went out.
Saying F this, F that.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, all that for some water. And then he's like, I just want some water. There you go, just chill out. And he's gone. Khalas. Subhanallah.
At least he didn't steal the sprinklers.
Huh?
So at least he didn't steal the sprinklers.
Yeah. Well, at least he's like walking home.
We hope so.
Huh?
We hope so.
Well, I mean, if he keeps acting, alhamdulillah. But anyway, so back to this. So, عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم علموا ويسروا ولا تعسروا وإذا غضب أحدكم فليسكت. Alright, so this hadith is reported on the authority of Ibn Abbas رضي الله عنهما, and he said that the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم said, علموا, teach the people. وَيَسِّرُوا, what? And keep things easy for the people. Teach the people and keep things easy for the people. You can't go and start busting people's head in until you first what? You teach them. But when you're teaching them, you have to keep things simple for them. You speak to them about things and issues that they understand, and you gradually start to build on those issues little by little. But you don't go and you know that a person's ignorant, and you start going back and forth with somebody on some issue, and like, for example, like a lot of brothers, they get all involved in going back and forth with these dudes about issues about aqidah. And they know this dude ain't studied nothing. He has never studied al-aqidah. What do you benefit from arguing with him? And you say, oh, I'm afraid that he might lead the people astray. Well, if you're teaching the people properly, he won't lead them. Inshallah, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, he won't lead them astray. He won't lead them astray if you're teaching the people the correct aqidah. And that's what we should do. But like sitting there going back and forth with these ignorant people, wallahi, and that makes things complicated. And that complicates things. You keep things simple. You teach the people. You know that the people might be affected by something, you go and you teach them. Well, we're more concerned with protecting the people from the evil of a person than trying to change the mind of that evil person. I could care less. If that person's like Musir, and he's like, I'm adamant about following what I follow, then follow it all the way to the hellfire. But my concern is going to be with what? Protecting the people that might listen to him. So that's why he said, alimu, teach the people. Yassiru, and make things easy for them. Start with knowledge that they understand. And build up and build up and build up, and then start to teach them. Start getting into like complex issues and try to like teach them everything. You just want to do revision on the people. You have to start with easy stuff, easy things, and start to build. He said, وَلَا تُعَسِّرُوا, and what? And don't make things difficult for the people. Don't give them more than they can bear. Don't try to push them past their limits in the beginning. You're trying to construct. You're not trying to what? And destruct. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ said, "Al-mu'min lil-mu'min kal-ish, kal-bunyan." It's construction. You're building. And by building, the only way that you can keep that structure together is by doing what? Making sure that every single part of that building is firm and solid and well grounded and with a strong foundation. If any of these parts that have a weak foundation, then all of the weight's going to fall onto what? Other parts of it, and this building eventually is going to collapse. So the whole part about the bunyan is you're constructing. You're not destructing. You're not ripping people down and you're not tearing people down. You're trying to what? Build the people up. This is not the military. This is not the military. We're not drill sergeants. Salafi drill sergeants where we go and like get in the face of the people and start telling them how much of the scum of the earth they are. No, this is the deen. And these are our brothers, and we deal with people as our brothers. Now, yes, we're going to have some very, very ignorant people. Yes, we're going to have people that have really, really bad character. But didn't the Prophet ﷺ, how did he deal with them? How did he deal with the Bedouin that pulled on his cloak so hard that he left a mark on his neck? How did he deal with him? Did he deal with him in a rough manner? Or did he teach him? Did he talk to him? Did he keep his smile? He kept his composure. All right, how did he deal with the guy that grabbed the sword and said, "Oh, Muhammad, who's going to protect you from me?" How did he deal with these people? When the sword fell out of the guy's hand and the Prophet ﷺ grabbed the sword. How did he deal with them? So that's how this is our example. This is our example of how to deal with people. Our example is not, taking our jahiliyyah and our street pass or our ghetto attitude and dealing with the people that way. And, again, Islam is supposed to refine the people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna hadha al-Qur'an yahdi lillati hiya aqwam. The best of all character, the best of all manners, the best of all behavior. This is what the Quran guides the people to. So if you're not, that's not changing in you, and you're not having that type of patience with the people, you're still having that roughness and toughness with the people, and you're still having that difficulty with the people, then you're not benefiting from the speech of Allah. You're not, and you need to go back and focus on that, because if we truly focus on the speech of Allah, because they asked Aisha radiallahu anha, when they said, كيف كان خلق النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, she said, what? كان خلقه إيش? Al-Quran. That all of his character, his morals and everything, it came from the Quran. He was a walking representation of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us. He acted it out. He did it. So if you want to see those commands in action, and you want to see how to do it, we go to the Sunnah. And we look at his behavior. We look at how he dealt with the people. So this is why he said, وَعَلِّمُوا وَيَسِّرُوا وَلَا تُعَسِّرُوا. Those three things. Teach the people. Make things easy on the people. Don't make things difficult on the people. If you see the people starting to get riled up, you see the people start getting a little defensive, you start to see, khalas. Right now, you have left the point of being beneficial. And now you're about to go into destructive mode. Because now you're going to start to go into like a debate. And now you're going to want to do what? Now I got to win this now. Now I can't lose this now. I'm going to show him. Now what is the purpose of a debate? To tear your opponent down. That's not brotherhood. And that's not what we're here for. And that wasn't the path of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam when people came to him with some of the worst character. But he was patient with them. And that's what we learn from. So like again, go back to the Quran. We need to learn. We need to go through the tafsir. We need to look at all the different anbiya, because they're the ones that we try to look up to. We look at Ibrahim and how he dealt with his father. Look at the character of Ibrahim with his father. Ya abati, ya abati, ya abati. And look at how he dealt with him. Look at how he dealt with the people. He didn't get out there and argue with the people. He said what? فَلَمَّا رَأَى what? الشَّمْسُ what? بَازِغَةً قَالَ إيش? هَذَا رَبِّي. But what was he doing here? This is من طريق استنكار. But he was doing it in a soft way. He was teaching them. So he said when he saw the sun, بَازِغَةً what? What does that mean? In its fullness, right? He said, what? Hada Rabbi. Hada Rabbi, he means, Hada Rabbi. Is this my Lord? Is this who you telling me that this is my Lord? And then what? When the sun went down, what? What did he say? I don't like the ones that go away, that go away. So you see how he taught his people in that way with the hujjah to where they couldn't argue back with him. There was no argument for them. So Allah musta'an, this is the tariq, this is the path of the anbiya. And that's the path that we should be following. And the path of knowledge.
Cool question. Obviously we shouldn't be debating. In Surah Al-Kahf, where Allah said, وَمَا نُرْسِلُ الْمُرْسِلِينَ إِلَّا مُبَشِّرِينَ وَمُنذِرِينَ وَيُجَادِلُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِالْبَاطِلِ. What is
Yeah, that's what they do. Their arguments is with batil.
Okay. I was just finishing that one.
That's their arguments. That's the type of hujjah that they try to bring to defend themselves in the batil that they're upon. But the mu'min, he brings the Quran and the Sunnah, so everything is with the truth. But they don't have anything. They're not standing on anything. They have no foundation. And that's what I'm saying. If you know that this person is not grounded in anything, and what are you trying to prove? What is there to prove? It's like Michael Jordan playing against an elementary school kid in basketball. What does he have to prove? If you've gone out and you've sought knowledge, you spent years and years and years seeking knowledge, and you just to come back to America and argue with like fools in the masjid? No, that's not what you spent all those years for. You could have done that without going overseas and seeking knowledge. You could just sit here and read Bukhari in English and Muslim in English and read the Quran in English and memorize all the English translations of everything. You could argue with people in the masjid. You don't need to go overseas and seek knowledge for that. No, you come back to teach the people and the people that want to be taught. Now there's gonna, like I said, there's gonna be people that they're like a stone, akhi, and you got to keep chiseling away at it until you reach, some type of, understanding with the person. But it takes patience, akhi. And the majority of the people, they just don't have the patience. They don't have the patience, and that's why the communities. You see, all the communities around America are in complete shambles, akhi. Just in complete chaos. Because nobody has patience with anybody. Like the brotherhood amongst people, it doesn't exist. The brotherhood exists as long as you agree with me. But once you don't agree with me, what? That's it, boy. I'm gonna rip you down. I'm gonna tear you apart. That's it. But as long as we all agree, and we're good, right? But once one person goes against that jama'ah and decides that he wants to say, no, this is haram, and that brotherhood's gone, akhi. That's not real brotherhood. That's fake. That's phony. That's mazawwar. You understand? So Allah musta'an. This is what he's taught. This is real brotherhood. He said what? Well, let's finish the narration. So he said, "Allimu wa yassiru wa la tu'assiru," and the most beautiful piece of advice at the end. What? وَإِذَا غَضِبَ أَحَدَكُمْ فَلْيَسْكُتْ. And if anybody from amongst you becomes angry, let him remain silent. Do not open your mouth when you're in a state of anger, state of uncontrolled emotion. Keep quiet. Wallahi, how many people they spend, they sit back and think of all the regret they have because they just couldn't keep their mouth shut when they got angry. Once you get angry, that's the time you stay quiet. And even the Prophet ﷺ said, "La yahkum al-hakimu wa huwa ish, wa huwa ghadban." That a judge should not judge when he's what? When he's angry, because those emotions, they affect your judgment. You should calm down, you relax, and then you talk, and then you judge, and then you do the things. If you're teaching the people and then somebody comes and makes you angry, just what? Stay silent. Even if the person gets up in your face, what, you ain't gonna say something? What, you ain't gonna? Exactly. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing to you. What? In obedience to my Lord. Not because of you, not because of anything else, but because of what? Obedience to Allah. And this is how many problems could just have stopped? How many lives have, been lost just because that person could not keep his mouth shut at the time of anger? He ran his mouth when he got emotional and got shot up and killed. The graveyard is full of folks like that. And it's continuing to get filled every single day. How much brotherhood has been destroyed because one person cannot keep his mouth shut in a state of anger? Where brothers now, they're not even talking to each other, they're not giving each other salams, all because of one person being emotional and couldn't keep his mouth shut. How much it destroys families. It destroys the relationship between the husband and the wife. It can destroy the relationship between the mother and the son. It can destroy the relationship between a neighbor. Everybody that has rights over you, you can destroy that relationship just by what? Opening your mouth every time that you get angry. And then you don't even understand what you're going to have to answer for on the day of judgment. The type of sins that you're going to come with on the day of judgment when you have to answer for all the oppression that you did with your tongue in a state of anger. Wallahi, you stay silent, not to protect the other person, but to who? Protect who? Protect yourself. Protect yourself. Because what did the Prophet ﷺ say to Mu'adh? What did he say? When he said, ألا أدل على ملاك هذا ألا أدل على ملاك هذا كله قال كف عليك هذا فأخذ بلسانه فقال كف عليك هذا. He said, control this. He grabbed his tongue and he said what? He said, can I tell you something that will stop all, that basically give you everything that you're looking for? What? Control this. He took his tongue and he said, Ya Rasulullah, are we going to be taken and be held accountable for what we say? And then what did the Prophet ﷺ say? He said, وَهَلْ يَكُبُّ النَّاسَ عَلَى وُجُوهِهِمْ أَوْ قَالَ عَلَى مَنَاخِرِهِمْ إِلَّا حَصَائِدُ أَلْسِنَتِهِمْ. So what did he say? He said, is it not going to be the tongue that gets the people tossed on their faces and dragged on their faces to the hellfire? Is it not going to be their tongues? إِلَّا حَصَائِدُ أَلْسِنَتِهِمْ. Just like what? Freely just letting their tongue go and not being any concern about the rights of the people. In the times of anger, the times of fitna, all the times where the person should stay quiet, that's when the person decides now is the best time to open his mouth. And this becomes a cause of this person getting drugged on his face. You understand? He's not being like just tossed in the hellfire, but dragged on his face and then tossed into the hellfire. That's a huge punishment. That's a huge disgrace. That's humiliating on the day of judgment for that to happen in front of everybody, just because you couldn't control your tongue, just because you know in a time of anger you couldn't just control your emotions and just stay quiet. Stay quiet. You got nothing to prove to the people. Nothing to prove to the people. You know, like we always talked about something. You want to prove something. You want to prove how much of a man you are. Prove how much of a man you are on a battlefield, not in the masjid amongst your brothers, not in the streets, not anywhere else. You want to prove how much of a man you are. Prove how much of a man you are on the battlefield. And there's this manliness and all this type of trying to show out for your brothers. Akhi, what type of person does that anyway? Except for he's going to be disgraced in this dunya in the next life. Wallahu musta'an. Where you going?
For some reason I thought you were going to say أقول قولي هذا واستغفر.
What do you thought? I was saying no khutbah, akhi. Should have been.
It just felt like you're.
Khalas, I mean that could have been.
That could be your next khutbah.
No, it's not.
What is it?
And you don't worry about it.
Why was you going to slip up this time?
All right. So, any questions? Go ahead.
Someone named Aziz says, is it permissible to give CPR to a female or male individual in an emergency?
If that person is dying and the only person that's available there to do that is a man and it's a female, or the opposite, the man is dying and the female is the only person, then yes, you have to, you can't wait, you're going to let the person die. No, you give the person CPR. You do whatever, once the person, if the person starts breathing or whatever, you stop. Khalas. You don't just keep, oh, you want some more? I mean, obviously you stop, once it's done. But yeah, I mean, if that's the only person that's available, I mean, you can't, like, especially if it's a super, like, you see this person dying. You're going to sit there and run around, is there a woman? Is there a woman doctor? Is there a woman doctor? And you're a doctor. You're trained to do this. Do your job. Do what you have to do. That person's dying or something, and that person's life is in danger. You got to handle your business. That's a whole different issue. That's a darura. That's completely different. What's up? Next.
Are there instances when revealing our awra, private parts, and general awra to other than our wives allowed?
No. Never. I mean, unless you got like some type of sickness in your private parts and you have to expose your private parts to the doctor or something like that, then maybe that's a different issue. But just like generally just exposing, no.
Obviously, there was a man and a woman, obviously they married and they have a kid. What's the ruling if a newborn baby sees the awra of his father?
Newborn baby ain't gonna remember nothing.
So it's permissible. Is it permissible?
I mean, I wouldn't run around naked around a newborn baby, but I'm just saying, it's like, yeah.
It's permissible.
Huh?
Is it permissible?
I mean, I've never seen anything to make it impermissible. You see, like a lot of the women, especially with the babies, they take the babies into the bathroom, they shower with the babies, because just to teach the baby how to, to wash the baby at the same time that they're taking a shower. So inshallah, there's no issue. But once the child starts to become umayyas, like when he starts to recognize things, then you stop.
Habib says, what's the awra for a man alone and a woman alone? Oh, I read it wrong. What is it? For a man when he's by himself, what's the awra for that?
Same, keeps himself covered.
I
mean, the hadith is about the sir ila rukbatain, from the knees to the belly button, but that hadith is not authentic. I mean, there's kalam about the hadith. Some of the ulama say it is. Some of the, I'm with the people whose opinion is not authentic. But
even Sheikh Al-Azami said it's not authentic.
So there you go. So what is it? About the belly button to the knees. It's the order for the man.
Outside of Salah. Outside of Salah. We're talking about outside, not in Salah. He said, did you get to the issue I told you about?
What is the issue he told me about?
The thighs.
Huh?
About the thighs.
I gotta go search for that hadith, actually. I'm not.
You know.
Man, I've been too busy with books, man.
ايش يقرا؟
الجبال اللي زي السحاب اللي شمال الجبال اللي فوق السماء والبرد نزل.
Yeah, so you can stop asking that question every single class.
Can a Muslim, where Aziz says, can a Muslim work as a police officer?
We already answered that. No. No, even in a Muslim country, akhi, because even in a Muslim country, they make you dress in a certain. The clothing that they wear, the police officers, is what? Clothing of the kuffar. It's taqlid of the kuffar. They make a lot of the police officers shave their beards. All right, and I'm talking about in Muslim countries. And amongst the kuffar, it's different because you got oaths that you have to take and stuff. Nah, man, you can't. It's not permissible. No. And on top of that, if you want to be like a police officer, you just want to be like your run-of-the-mill police officer, you want to keep that same salary every year, and you want to have the garbage jobs. If you don't want to do that and you want to move up and you want to have a better job, and you got to become a Mason. So then there's a whole other aspect of it because the fraternal order of the police is Masonic.
What's that?
Masonry.
What's that?
Secret fraternity organization.
Fraternity.
Yeah. No, that's the Fraternal Order of Police. It's a Masonic organization. It's known.
Secret society.
It's not very secret, is it? Because they have like Masonic temple. They got one right there on Fresno Street, I think.
People can go there.
Huh?
People can go there.
Yeah, people that just like to dress up in costumes and pretend like they're like righteous and religious.
Way, that's real?
Yeah.
Yeah, like normal jobs, like.
Yeah, they wear these little robes on, they wear these like little, what do they call them, like the women that bake.
Apron?
It's like, they wear aprons. Masonic aprons. Look it up on Google.
Wait, I do the spell.
I thought that was just like the movies.
No, man. All these
a lot of shit, dude.
But with the police now, that's known. It's known. The Fraternal Order of the Police is Masonic. So.
Masonic Masons?
Yeah. And that gets into a whole other thing because that gives you allegiance to kuffar, and that gets you making, oaths to something completely different. What else?
To what extent can we converse with non-mahram women, and how do we approach a woman for marriage if her father's unknown?
I mean, if the only way, like for example, you see the woman, she's you really want to marry her, but you try to find her father, you can't find out the information that you're looking for, and you go up to her. At the very least, you say, look, with very minimum words, no conversation, no nothing. This is my phone number. I would like to marry you. If you're interested, give this to your father and have him call me, or your wali, and leave. Don't look her in the eyes. Don't chit chat. Don't ask her what her name is, what her favorite color is, or where she likes to eat pizza at, or what type of coffee she drinks. No. You go and you say, this is my phone number. I'm interested in getting married. If you're interested, please have your wali call me and go. That's it. And a woman, she could do the same thing too. If she's trying to get married and her family's not taking the initiative, and then she goes and she just does the same thing and leaves, as long as it's not going to be fitna. As long as it's not going to be fitna, because she might. But she doesn't give the man her phone number. All right, she does not give the man her phone number. She gives the man what? Her brother, because maybe she's not going to give, maybe her wali is the father. And maybe the father is a very difficult person to deal with. He's the wali. But he'll first contact the brother, talk to the brother talks to the mother talks to the father. Sometimes you have to go this different route. You can't just go straight to the father. Because the father, if you just call up the father and say, hey, I want to marry your daughter, what's the first thing he's going to think? How'd you get my number? And it might get the girl in trouble. You understand? So she might do like that, go through the brother, then the brother will bring you to the house and introduce you to the father, like that. So it's like kind of like the brother was the one that took the initiative to get her married, not her going out and giving the phone number, But yeah, she doesn't give her phone number ever. That's fitna, And even the man, if he thinks that he's going to give her the phone number, and then and say one day he gets a phone call. And he looks at, he's like, I don't know this number. This might be the father. And he says, hello. Assalamu alaikum. And he hears this, right? So what does he do?
Keeps talking to her.
No.
Oh,
he keeps talking to
no,
her.
like,
MashaAllah, aren't we from the muttaqeen?
No. I meant like if you just give me an example. Like,
no, what he should do is like,
obviously hang up right away.
I told you Have your brother or your father call me. Have them call me. Ma salam.
I didn't know.
Now, I mean, explain it to again, because maybe she's slow. Maybe she's just like, who knows? Maybe she just had double shot of espresso that day and just got stupid. Who knows? But just explain it to her again and hang up the phone. That's it. But you're not gonna sit there and have conversations and all this type of stuff. No. Go ahead, man.
Anonymous says, how many years between the Prophet ﷺ eating the meat and his death?
Yeah, from Khaybar up to now.
7 years. Is it like 7 years?
Well, you look up exactly what year Khaybar was. Seven? No, it wasn't 7. It wasn't the 7th year of Hijrah.
Where would I find the answer? Where would I find the answer?
Go find another question. I'll find. See, this is why you have to memorize books like Alfiyat al-Iraqi and Sirah, because he gives you all the dates of all these main events.
Wait, what time did you want to pray, Aisha?
A few minutes. Go ahead. Wait, I'm not. I'm sitting here talking about Alfiyat al-Iraqi, and I'm looking up that now. I forgot what I was. Find another question.
What are some halal jobs I could do, as there are a lot of haram jobs in the West?
What are what?
What are some halal jobs I could do, since there is a lot of haram jobs in the West?
Construction, lawnmower maintenance. Huh?
What about DoorDash?
No, because you have to deliver alcohol, pork.
Or you can decline.
Okay, but you'll be losing a lot of customers. Go to school and get certified as a mechanic.
Uber.
No, Uber, you might be driving prostitutes and drug dealers around.
Or someone to church.
Or driving somebody to church, yeah. Or driving somebody to the nightclub. Or driving somebody to the house for him to go do something with a girl. So, you got, like, any type of manual labor job. No, I'm saying any type of manual labor job, what are you gonna, like, what haram are you gonna fall into working as a mechanic? You could fall into haram working as anything, but I'm saying the haram that you fall into is going to be because of you. Because some beautiful girl comes in and she wants to get her car fixed, and you're just like, oh, so what's wrong, man? So you come here, let me show you what's wrong, and then you're acting stupid. Yeah, you fall into haram like that. But I'm saying that's you. You would have fallen into that haram wherever, at a supermarket or something, talking to the cashier. But the point is like those jobs, you working in a garage with a bunch of dudes. Now, of course, it's not the best environment for a Muslim, because these guys are obviously mechanics and alcoholics and pot smokers and play music and
Big pot smokers.
So, same thing with construction. But they don't generally do that stuff on the job. They do that outside of the job, because if they get injured on the job, I don't know about California, but in Florida, if you have workers' comp back in the days and you have alcohol, you have weed in your system, it doesn't cover it. It doesn't cover your injuries. You have to pay out of your pocket for those injuries. So I don't know how they do it here.
Painters on the job site, on their lunch break, they're sitting there with a 6-pack of beer, just sitting there drinking.
Yeah, no, Florida. No. I worked construction before. I never.
Yeah.
I saw one guy, one dude. He decided that he wanted to smoke weed on the job, and the idiot was high, and he took the saw and cut his finger. Yeah, he cut his finger, because he was just high and they took him to the hospital, and they did a blood test on him. He had weed in his system. So the owner of the company came back, because he was my friend. He's the one I was working for. He owned the whole construction company. He said, I can't do nothing for him. The idiot was smoking weed.
What was it, like carpenter?
Framing
or what?
Yeah, framing. Yeah. He was doing that, but we were hanging the siding. Doing the drywall, hanging the siding. We used to do all the stuff. Because my friend, the guy that ran the company, he didn't like to He could have hired out different people to do different things, but he just said, I'm just going to save money and we're just going to do it all. So he got up on the roof and he did the roof on his own. I was doing the siding. Another person was doing the drywall. Yeah, like that.
You did tile?
Huh?
You did tile?
No, that's your job. Yeah. Florida back in the days, that wasn't like I guess they do have tiles in the bathtubs, like the bathrooms. But like the floors and stuff like that, it was never like a big thing, like tiles. So I don't know. No, I never. They like linoleum. So you want to make money in Florida back in the days, you lay down linoleum. Yeah, you can do that. You can cut that and you can lay that down without having the bubbles in it, and you're good. Yeah, you can make some money, man. All right, another question, man. No more. I haven't worked construction, man. Come on, that was like 26 years ago, man. 27 years ago. Right now, if I got one of those electric, I was like, I wouldn't even know what to do with it, like the nail guns. Yeah, I wouldn't even know how to use it. I never used the electric one, though. They used to hate me, man. Like, why do you keep doing everything by hand? Like, I was like nailing all the siding in by hand. The whole, it was a duplex. And I did all of it, even up on the ladder, I was doing it by hand. Like, why? Just use the nail gun. I'm like, man, I'm trying to work out my forearms, trying to get a workout. And that nail gun, it's too quick, man. I'm enjoying myself. Yeah, what's the next question?
Generally speaking, how did Salaf al-Salih deal with Ahlul Bid'ah? The callers and the laymen.
And deal with them? They don't deal with them. They warn against them. They stay away from them.
No, he said, Aki, this is doing a bid'ah. This is a good bid'ah.
No, but these are like we're talking about the callers, and we're not talking about these jokers and these masajid. They get taught by the Deobandis and the Tabligis but nah, man, these dudes are not callers to no bid'ah. They're ignorant, man. They're super ignorant. They're just like they're bawa'iq. The Ahl al-Bid'ah. And what is al-Bukha? What is a Bukha? Al-Bawa'iq in the Arabic language is a bullhorn. They're just like bullhorns for them because what they do, because they're cowards. Like a lot of these people are Bid'ah because they know what they're standing on, a weak foundation. So what do? They go and they get all of these shabab that are like real mutahammis with the deen. They really want to practice the sunnah and they get them all fired up and then they push them to the forefront. So those are the people that you end up dealing with in the West. You're not actually dealing with the actual real callers because they're hiding. They're not on the front line, calling to their bid'ah here in America. They're like sending these ignoramuses to do their fighting for them, Whereas so they can run their mouths about Salafis all they want and the people of the Sunnah, but the people of the Sunnah are right there, dealing with the people, teaching the people and not hiding what they're upon. And ain't nobody sitting here running around hiding like, my beliefs, you want my beliefs? I tell you, I don't have nothing to hide. I don't need to put a whole bunch of shabab in front of me to, protect. This is what the people do. These hizbis, that's what they do. They try to set up this wall. So a lot of the people that you're dealing with are not the real callers to the bid'ah. The real callers are the ones behind them, like sitting up, on the armchairs. The armchair callers.
Do you know any reliable organizations in America where one can give kafara? What do you mean?
Oh, mashallah, I was right. The 7th year of Hijrah.
I was right.
I was right. I said I want to say it's the 7th year. When did you say it was the 7th year?
I said 7 years, صح? Did I not say?
Nah, I said.
I said 7 years.
Nah, man, we're gonna go back and rewatch this.
I said 7 year.
I didn't hear him. Did you hear him?
Oh, come on. Hey,
man, he's like...
You too. Who said 7 years?
He's like Mujahid when he prays, right? My son, he's like, no, I prayed. Nobody... Did you see him pray? Nobody saw you pray. No. I
said... Watch. Let the YouTube world say.
Yeah.
Yes. Hamza said 7 years.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
No, you said 7 years.
Yeah.
You didn't say... No. No. You said it was a period of 7 years between Khaybar and the time of his death. No, I'm saying that Khaybar was in the 7th year.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You said 7 years.
No, I said 7 years.
7 years. They said how long was it from the time that he ate the poison until he died? And you said 7 years. I said that Khaybar was in the 7th year.
We'll see that in the audio.
I know what I said and I know what you said.
You said nothing. You said
No, I'm saying you might have meant something different, but I'm saying what you said. You said 7 years, but the question was, go back and read the question.
Sure.
Well, how long was it from the time that he ate the poison until he died? You said 7 years, so that doesn't mean that Khaybar isn't the 7. That means it was a period of 7 years. No.
No, we'll see. We'll see the audio because I'm not defending myself anymore. We'll just pull the audio.
لازم تعرف الحلف.
ها؟
هو لازم يعرف الحلف.
What?
لازم يعرف الحلف.
وش تريد ابتهال الآن ونجعل لعنة الله على الكاذبين. What, you want to go to that extreme? الله المستعان. إن هذا لهو القصص الحق. No, man. We don't need no ibtihal for this, man. Go ahead. What's the next
Is it
question?
even like permissible to do ibtihal, or is it
That's
not?
permissible, but not for something like this. Where you like these people are going against the truth, and you say, وَقُلْ أَنِ تَعَالُوا نَدْعُوا أَبْنَاءَنَا وَأَبْنَاءَكُمْ وَنِسَاءَنَا وَنِسَاءَكُمْ وأنفسنا وأنفسكم ثم نبتهل فنجعل لعنة الله على الكاذبين. So basically, like, we're not going to come to an agreement. We say that this is the truth, you say that this is a lie, and then you say, okay, let's come together. We'll bring our sons, you bring your sons. We'll bring our women, you bring your women, and we'll bring ourselves and you bring yourselves, and then we'll ask that the curse of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be placed on the liars. This is like Muhammad Hijab's favorite thing. Like every time that he gets emotional, he wants to make ibtihal with everybody in the whole dunya. So you can go make ibtihal with the Chinese embassy or something.
With his shirt off. That guy hugging his chest.
Go ahead. What's the next one?
Face. Someone says, should I read Kitab al-Tawheed or the biography of Prophet Muhammad?
What's the connection between the two? Why can't you just read them both? They're two different books. Kitab al-Tawheed is one thing, and the Sirah is another thing. You can read Kitab al-Tawheed in the morning, you can read the Sirah at night. Why do you have to only read one of them?
No,
I mean, if you're strapped for time and you can only read one thing, Kitab al-Tawheed is more important. More important, Kitab al-Tawheed.
To read like Zad al-Ma'ad.
Having the correct understanding of Tawheed is more important first. If you don't know the events and what happened in the life of the Prophet, like the wars, but you know Tawheed, these issues in Tawheed, that's a lot better to die in that state than to know all the issues of the Sirah and be ignorant about Tawheed. So focus on aham fa aham.
Do you know any reliable organizations in America where one can give kafara al-yamin?
What?
Any organizations in America that you can give kafara al-yamin?
You just feed the poor people.
Even if they're non-Muslim?
Huh?
Even if they're non-Muslim?
I mean, like I said, if you got poor Muslims, then why would you feed kuffar? So, I'm not with that, man. I'm not with giving them kuffar anything. We got enough poor Muslims out here, we don't need to give them kuffar nothing. They got their own organizations feeding them.
Yeah, they got what's it called? Salvation Army. They got a bunch of other stuff. Did you want to, how many more questions?
Go ahead. Who actually read this book?
New one?
Actually, I just started. I didn't get finished.
What I wanted to explain, man. When I talked about, because obviously this is about the memorization of the Quran. Asad got everybody smelling Asad was doing that yesterday when he opened up the Minute Maid. He's like, smell it, smell it, smell it. Does it smell good? Does it smell good? And now you're doing the same thing. So, because I was speaking with Sajid about this, because Sajid, inshallah, what he's trying to do is he's making up different charts and things that help the people out. What's up?
Yeah.
So, because he's going to be going and reading through different parts of this book on his channel. And he's going to make up different worksheets and charts. That's what he's working on now, inshallah. So, and then we were talking about this because we were talking about okay, basically what you see here, when it goes to phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, all these phases, right? What do you see? You don't see anything about memorization. You see something about what? Developing a reading program for the Quran, right? Because obviously I mentioned that kind of passingly throughout the book, which maybe it would have been better if I had been more direct about it, is that memorization is just something you do when you do it. You have your main time that you memorize, which would be like Fajr. For most people, I'm not saying that's everybody, but most people, they're going to start their memorization. The main part of their memorization is at Fajr. And then throughout the day, they're just going to, whenever they have free time, they're going to what? Like what we used to do, we used to keep a small, you have those ajazat, like the 30 Jews, we used to just keep it in the pocket. Whenever we're memorizing, whenever we're free, before the dars starts with the sheikh or whatever, pull it out and start reading. That's just what we did, wherever we were at, If we're waiting for food to come in a restaurant, we'll pull the book out and start reading. So memorization is just something that you do throughout the day. What I put in the book, what I focus on, is the developing of the reading program, because the relationship with the mushaf, that has to be formulated for you to continue on after the memorization. Because the memorization, actually, that's the easy part. That's the easy thing. That's the fun part with everything. Everything, memorization is fun. It's the easy part. The hard part is keeping it after you memorize it. And when you lose it, it's very hard to get it back. And this is what I'm going through right now. Because I spent 6 years in Saudi Arabia with a very difficult situation, being in that country illegal, and I just having to do anything that I could to feed my family. I mean, halal. I wasn't like prostituting myself in the street or nothing like that. I'm just, what I'm saying? I'm going to say anything, no, I'm not, it wasn't that, to that extreme. What I'm saying is I had to take whatever jobs I could get, whatever, and with the lowest salaries. I wasn't getting paid the American salary, so that means that I would have to work 2, 3, 4 jobs. So, over years, I read a lot. I read a lot because I used to read all the time in the taxis, and because Riyadh is so spread out, going from one place to the next, I might be in a taxi sometimes for like 45 minutes to an hour, and I'm just reading. I'm reading the whole time. So as far as books, mashallah, I read a lot of books, but I wasn't getting a lot of revision done. I was not. So I suffered. And then trying to go now to sit down and try to get it all back, get it the way that it used to be when I was in Yemen, is very difficult. So you don't want to go through that. You want to establish the reading program as you're memorizing. So once you get done memorizing, you've already established that program of just reading the mushaf over and over and over. And that's how you keep the Quran after it's done, after you've done memorizing it. Obviously standing up at night and praying, that's another thing. But also just keeping that reading, and because it's not just about memorizing the Quran, but it's that relationship, that bonding, that that you're formulating. So sitting down and reading tafsir to understand the Quran, and setting up this reading program where you're starting from 1 juz a day, then you go to 2 juz a day, then 2.5, then 3, then 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5. Now you're reading the Quran every 6 days. But you did it gradually. You did it over a period of 5 years. And you developed it slowly. You weren't in a hurry. And that's what this whole book is about. So the whole program, even the reading program, is about developing that. Because that's more important. Because if you were to just take the reading program alone, just the reading, not even memorizing the Quran, ya akhi, in 5 years, how much do you think that you'll be able to quote? Like, if you were to sit here in a lesson, you could just quote ayats all day long. Because you would have so much memorized, but you just don't have it. You're not going to stand up and lead Tarawih, But you look at like Sheikh Muqbil, rahimahullah. He didn't finish the memorization of the Quran. But if you listen to him talk, you would never believe that. But why is that? He didn't memorize it because he got busy with the science of hadith. But he never left that relationship with the Quran. He never left reading it. He never just abandoned it. And that's why you see what did the Prophet ﷺ, what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say to the messenger? What did he say? وقال الرسول يا ربي إن قومي اتخذوا هذا القرآن.
Did you say what?
Yeah. وقال الرسول.
وقال الرسول.
وقال.
I thought you said وقال الرسول.
وقال الرسول.
I didn't know the elephant lamb. I thought you skipped it.
I'm going to throw something at you, أخي. وقال الرسول يا ربي إن قومي اتخذوا هذا القرآن. هذا القرآن مهجورا. So, the messenger said, oh my Lord, my people have taken this Quran mahjura. That means they've abandoned it. They don't have that relationship with it. They not just abandoned the reading of it, but they abandoned the acting on it. They've abandoned, carrying out the commands and staying away from the prohibitions. They're not benefiting from the Quran, even if they're reading it, but they're not benefiting. So you see people now, they'll sit in Ramadan and they'll read the Quran over and over and over again, walk straight out and disobey Allah to the left and disobey Allah to the right. So it's still mahjura because they're not reading it. They're not truly benefiting from the Quran. What is it? الذين آتيناهم الكتاب يتلونه حق تلاوته أولئك يؤمنون به. So the ones that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the book, يتلونه حق تلاوته. And what is that حق تلاوة?
يعملون به.
Yeah, that they understand, that they read it with understanding, with tadabbur, with seeking the truth, with seeking the guidance. And once they find that guidance, they act on it. That's the true tilawah. That's what the real recitation of the Quran is about. And if you're not doing that, then in the qawm ittakhadhu hadha al-Qur'ana mahjura. I think you're kind of getting the idea what the khutbah is going to be about this week. You know what it's about because you've been listening to me. Huh?
Yeah.
Let's just say that you might be hearing all this again anyways, but I'm just practicing right now. Huh?
I mean, it's obvious now what it is going to be about.
Well, of course, because the book came out, of course, I'm going to talk about what? Memorization of the Quran. Duh. What would I talk about? I write a book about memorization of the Quran. What am I going to do? Give a khutbah about, the best money that a person's made is what he earned with his hands? No, you can give a khutbah about memorization of the Quran. Yeah, come on, man. What else? Oh, but anyways, that's not a question. I'm talking about the book. So that was the whole point, man. That was the whole what? This was a very short class. How long has it been?
An hour and almost 30.
Well, what, you got somewhere to go?
No, the thing for you, because you said you want to keep it really more.
Well, hey, the green tea kicked in, Akhi, so what can I do? So, I mean, that's the whole point. So that's what I want the people to understand with the book, is that all these phases is about building up that relationship. Because that recitation of the Quran over and over and over and over again, if you just did that for 5 years, let's say you didn't memorize anything, you just followed that program for 5 years, the reading program. All right, for one, you're going to read the Quran so many times, it's not even funny. But the point is that, by the time that you finish that reading program, and let's say after that 5-year period, you started to memorize the Quran, how fast do you think you'll memorize the Quran? Super fast, because so much of it's already in your head. You just need to.
In your work?
Shut up. And you just have to bring it together. It's just like shut but where you keep going? Where's Asad at?
No.
He's asleep. Oh yeah, it is bedtime. Anyways, questions. Two more questions, and we're gone.
The next,
All right, 7 more questions. Let's go.
I mean, yeah, I got no issue, inshallah.
Today.
It's like the chat became like a WhatsApp group chat. What's that? Ahmed said, no,
Go ahead.
Omar says, is it too much if I learn Medina book, Bayna Yadayk, and Sarf books all at one time, or should
it's
I?
true. Take one book and perfect it. Arabiya Bayna Yadayk is probably the best to get you going in conversational Arabic. Practice the writing, practice the listening, getting all the skills that you need to be, to get started in the Arabic language. The Medina books are part of a whole series. The only thing that they brought out was those 3 books, but they don't study those 3 books in the university. They study a whole set of books. Like you see the same thing with the books in Riyadh and all the different universities. So that's not sufficient to get you going in the Arabic language. Al-Arabiya Bayna Yadayk is probably the best of, the best of the worst, It's not the best book, but alhamdulillah, it'll work. You must have had.
This is regarding Kafarat al-Yamin. Says, what should one do if they don't know any poor Muslims? Because if they send it back home, they will just give them money. They will give the money to them and not the food or clothes.
You know, if you ain't got no poor people, there's no way. Just you have to fast 3 days.
It's only 3 days, just fast.
Except for someone who broke the road.
No, but they can't fast if there's a way for them to feed poor people.
Should one continue their daily reading in tahajjud?
What do you mean daily reading? How do you?
Like, worded of the Quran?
No, I mean you should have a daily reading during the morning and a different reading that you do at night when you're praying. So I mean you can read one juz a night, finish the mushaf every 30 days at night, or you could just focus on certain things that you're trying to revise at the time or memorize at the time. What?
What's that?
What is his problem, man?
No, nothing.
Tell on him. Yeah, snitch.
Or else, no.
What, he's not walking home now, he's got his own car for us. Huh?
I'm called. I'm gonna call the Pakistani guy.
Spill the beans, man.
The beans on other least field. Question is. There is no question. خلاص, that was actually the last question.
وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك